Hey there, readers and writers. So great to see you. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Let's read our target and then get started for this grammar lesson this week. I can identify and use apostrophes accurately in my writing. This right here is an apostrophe. It looks kind of like a comma, doesn't it? Let's find out what an apostrophe is. Listen carefully.
Is it a flying comma or a quotation mark chopped in half? Either way, you may already be well versed in how to use the apostrophe, but here's a quick refresher on its usage. The apostrophe can be used in three ways: to mark possession, to mark contraction, to mark the plural of single letters. Most of the time, if you see an apostrophe hovering helpfully near a word, it's trying to mark possession or contraction. First, let's look at how the apostrophe marks possession. As you can see, the placement of this punctuation mark can really change the meaning of a sentence. Those robots in the sand are my sisters. Those robots in the sand are my sisters. Those robots in the sand are my sisters. When showing possession, the apostrophe belongs next to the noun that owns or possesses something. The noun can be singular or plural. Proper nouns work too. So if Lucy needs to get her robots under control before they cause mayhem, those dangerous creatures would be Lucy's robots. But what if Lucy was Lucas? Would we write Lucas robots or Lucas's robots? And what if Lucas gave his robots to the Robinson family? Would it be the Robinsons' robots or the Robinsons' robots? The truth is, even grammar nerds disagree on the right thing to do. The use of apostrophe s after a proper noun ending in s is a style issue, not a hard and fast grammar rule. It's a conundrum without a simple answer. Professional writers solve this problem by learning what's considered correct for a publication and doing that. The important thing is to pick one style and stick with it throughout a piece of writing. One more wrinkle. Certain pronouns already have possession built in and don't need an apostrophe. Remembering that will help you avoid one of the trickiest snags in English grammar: its versus its. Its only takes an apostrophe when it's a contraction for it is or it has. If you can replace its with one of those two phrases, use the apostrophe. If you're showing possession, leave it out. Otherwise, contractions are pretty straightforward. The apostrophe stands in for missing letters and lets common phrases squash into a single word. In rare cases, you can have a double contraction, though those generally aren't accepted in writing, with the exception of dialogue. So, it's possessive, it's often followed by s's, and it's sometimes tricky when it comes to its usage. It's the apostrophe.
All right, clear as mud, right? I know. So an apostrophe we mostly use for two different things. One is for contractions, like contractions you've already learned, like the one that you saw in the video. If we bonk it and has together, it becomes the contraction it's. Like, it has been a long time since I've seen you. It's been a long time since I've seen you. And that apostrophe's in there to show. Remember, they bonked together and some letters went flying out? So that apostrophe's in there to show you that some letters went flying out when they bonked together. So contractions, like we've already learned about, is our main use that we use an apostrophe. And the second one is to show possession. So you're familiar with what a contraction is. When those two words bonk together and some letters go flying out, that apostrophe marks at the top showing that some letters are missing and we bonked two words together. The second main reason or time you use an apostrophe as a writer is to show possession of something or that you own something. So let's watch this brain pop to learn more.
Moby, are you ready to go bird watching? Hey, is that Mia's camera? Are you sure? What is a possessive noun? Well, a noun is a person, animal, place, thing, or idea. To possess means to have or own. A possessive noun shows that a noun has or owns something. Moby, I'm pretty sure that's Mia's camera. How do you make singular possessive nouns? A singular noun names one person, animal, place, thing, or idea. The swan has a long neck. You can use a possessive noun to show that the swan possesses or has a long neck. The swan's neck is long. To make a possessive noun, you add an apostrophe and an S. The chest of the robin is red. Here's how you'd write this sentence with a possessive noun. The robin's chest is red. Right, Moby. Possessive nouns can make sentences simpler or easier to understand. Moby's favorite bird is the bald eagle. Chris's favorite bird is the blue jay. If a singular noun ends in S, you can still add an apostrophe and an S to make it possessive. You can also add an apostrophe at the end of the word and leave out the extra S. The iris has purple petals. The word iris ends in an S, so you can add an apostrophe and an S. Or you can just add an apostrophe at the end of the word to make it possessive. The iris's petals are purple. There are a lot of birds out here, Moby. How do you make plural possessive nouns? Remember, a plural noun names more than one person, animal, place, thing, or idea. Many plural words end in S. If a plural noun ends in S, you add an apostrophe after the S to make it possessive. Cool! Look at that bird's nest. The nest belongs to several birds, not just one. Since birds is plural, you add the apostrophe at the end without adding another S. Those ducks have colorful feathers. Can you write that with a possessive noun? The duck's feathers are colorful. Remember, the apostrophe comes after the S. Check out those finches. Do you hear the finches' songs? If a plural noun does not end in S, add an apostrophe and add an S, as in children's books and women's bathroom. Uh-oh. Moby's camera is broken. I'm still pretty sure that's Mia's camera.
All right. Did that help out a little bit, readers? So remember, there's two main uses for an apostrophe as a writer. To show contraction when two words belong together, like they have, they've, has not, hasn't, it is, it's. And our second use that we just now learned is to show possession or that you own something. So for example, we have Cousin Echo here who is helping out with some foundations work. And this is Cousin Echo's bubbly water. So a sentence that I might write, because he owns the drink, that's his drink, it's his water, is this is Cousin Echo's drink. So the apostrophe S doesn't mean there's many of them, doesn't mean there's lots. It means that he owns it, he possesses it. It's Echo's drink, it's Cousin Echo's drink. So now you have a chance to go ahead and practice what you just learned. We're going to head over to our Literacy Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you what your practice will look like. When you go to your BVSD single sign-on and you click on Google Classroom, you're going to click on Literacy Alexander. It says Literacy Alexander Gurr Hampton. So if Miss Alexander, Miss Gurr, Miss Hampton are your literacy teachers, you're going to click on this one. And then you click on Classwork at the tippy top. Under Grammar and Skills, hopefully you've been able to work on all of these past grammar and skill practices so far. Your new practice for this week is apostrophe practice. When you open apostrophe practice, this is what you're going to see. This is your target. I can practice using an apostrophe accurately. So number one, you're going to read the sentence. There's only one sentence on each slide. So there's one sentence on this slide, one sentence on this slide, one sentence, just to really break it up for your brain so you can focus on one sentence at a time. Click where you think an apostrophe is missing and type it in. On your keyboard, your apostrophe is the little mark that looks like a comma, but it's right next to the return or the enter button, depends on what kind of device that you're on. So I'm going to read my sentence. Mrs. Nauer couldn't come to the concert. Man, when I work on a computer, sometimes it gives me clues, especially if it has to do with contractions or spelling. Couldn't has a red squiggly line under it. Couldn't, I know, is could and not bonked together. So what letter is missing? I see could and not. What letter's missing from not? That's right, the O. So I'm going to click between the N and the T, click my little tiny apostrophe button next to enter, and now let's reread our sentence. Mrs. Nauer couldn't come to the concert. I don't see any other contractions, and I don't see Mrs. Nauer owning anything or possessing something. So I think that's it. I'm going to move on to the next one. Can you identify and use apostrophes accurately? You sure can, and completing that assignment on Google Classroom will be great practice for you. Can't wait to see the work you do and using apostrophes in your writing from now on, writers. Have a great rest of your day. Miss you. Bye.